Hey everybody, it's me Chris. I'm back over here in the kitchen. Today I'm going to show you a really cool video. I'm going to show you how to make and freeze garlic puree so you'll have garlic ready to go in the freezer to take out at any time. And I first saw this done by a YouTube chef named Jean-Pierre. You should go check that guy out. He's one of the most knowledgeable and entertaining chefs on YouTube. He's just phenomenal, and I really enjoy his videos. I saw him do this. I tried it, and I've been doing it ever since. It's just a great way to use up, your garlic without wasting. And you know how when you go out to BJ's or Costco, you get a big bag of garlic. Sometimes it ends up going in the garbage because you just don't use it all. Well, this will help you avoid that. So let me show you what I got. All right, so very simple. I have my garlic here, and you probably recognize this. It's a 2-pound bag of garlic. I got this one from Costco. I got some extra virgin olive oil, right? I'm going to use my food processor. Now, if you don't have a food processor, you could just chop this up with a knife. I'll talk about that later probably. But I also need, these are ice cube trays. These are silicone ice cube trays. These are smaller ones. It's about a tablespoon each. And that's what I'm going to use to freeze my puree. All right, so I got a couple bowls here to help me work this. And I got my garlic in the bowl. And these are pretty large heads of garlic. And you could do a couple things. You could start to just kind of break this open and peel off the cloves individually. All right, but what I like to do especially when I'm chopping this much, to speed things up is, I kind of just will cut this stem end off. And you want to find a nice flat spot on the garlic so it doesn't slip. And I'm just going to take my knife and just cut this whole back piece right off, okay? And if it starts to slip, just let it go. Don't cut yourself. All right, now once I have that off, what I can do is just start to break apart. I hope you can see this here. I'm just gonna start to break apart the cloves. Leave them in the paper for now. But I really just, my goal at this first step of the first portion of this is just to get the cloves separated and into the bowl. So I'm going to do that with each of these heads of garlic. All right, so step one is done. And basically, like I said, we just got the stem ends cut off and we separated all the cloves here. All right, you can see that's a lot of garlic. And I'm just going to get rid of all this paper, just clean up my board and clean up the knife a little bit. All right, so step two, now the next thing I do when I'm cutting a bunch of garlic like this is I just get some onto the board. And now the goal is to separate the paper. So I just take each one, give it a little smash, set it aside, and I just keep going just like this to loosen the paper, okay? Don't have to be perfect because remember, we're making a garlic puree. So we just want to loosen that paper. And I'm going to do this with all my cloves. Just go right down the line. And once you do this a few times, it starts to go quick. I like using this big cleaver knife too. It really helps. All right, so all my smashing is done. All the papers are loose. And then I got a little bowl with some water here because the garlic has a high sugar content, so it'll get very sticky. So you need some help getting the paper off. So I'm just gonna wet my hands a little. And then just the last step is really just start to peel the paper. I put my paper in the garbage bowl and my garlic cloves right into the food processor. Now, sometimes you get a bad one, just put it to the side. And then just keep going like this. Now, if you're not using a food processor, you could do this with your knife. You would just obviously, instead of the food processor, you'd peel your garlic and put them into a bowl. And then just chop as fine as you can with your knife. You're just gonna keep chopping and chopping till you get a nice fine puree on the garlic. And then you could add the oil, which you'll see later. So you could definitely do this without a food processor, okay? All right, so here's my peeled garlic. I cleaned up a little bit. I cleaned off the board. And now at this point, you just really want to add your oil. And you want to use a cheap oil. Don't use a good olive oil. I mean, this is extra virgin olive oil, but it's an inexpensive one. Or you can use a vegetable oil is fine, canola or regular vegetable oil. And I just want to cover them like that. And then we're gonna start to puree this, and we'll see if we need to add more oil, but I'm just gonna pulse it a couple times and we'll see what it looks like. That's good. That's actually perfect. I don't need any more oil. And the oil is really important here because it kind of encases the garlic so it doesn't go bad or oxidize. And it freezes really, really well. So this looks great. I'll show you how I freeze it. All right, so we got to get this into our ice cube trays, and you could just spoon it in. But what I like to do, I've done this a few times, and this just makes it really, really easy. I like to get a piping bag, or you could use a Ziploc bag, and then I'll just pour some of the garlic puree in there, just like this. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna take my bag and just twist it a little bit so it doesn't spill out. And then I can turn it upside down. I just snip the tip off here. I'm gonna do this over the sink. Okay, and now I can just start to fill these. And it just makes it a lot easier. You make a huge mess if you don't do it this way. Okay. All right, so this is what it looks like. And you know, you can make it a little more chunky if you want. I added a little extra oil to mine, but you know, if you want to add less, that's fine. It's whatever you prefer. And you can see here, I got 56 cubes. So I'll have, basically I got enough here to make 56 different dishes. So this amount of garlic will last quite a while. Okay, so now what we got to do is freeze these. And what you want to do is you don't want to stink up your freezer of garlic. So what I do, I take plastic wrap just like this. And then I'm going to seal these nice and tight just like that. I'll do kind of a double wrap here, okay? Just to make sure that it's really sealed. And I'll put it in the freezer just like this. All right, so this is what they look like when they come out of the ice cube trays. You can see they look awesome. And I'm just gonna dump these right into a Ziploc bag, a heavy freezer bag. All right, so you make sure you seal that up nice and tight. And then to make sure your freezer doesn't stink, I stick this inside another bag, and that'll keep the odor inside. All right, so there it is, everybody. That's how you make and store garlic puree. So stop wasting that garlic. Don't throw it out when you get those big bags, okay? You're gonna absolutely love this. And it's a bit of a chore peeling all that garlic, but once you do it and you start using it during the week when you're making something, you need a piece of garlic, and to not have to drag out the cutting board and the knife and make a big mess, it's worth the work. So go ahead, try it at home, and then when you're done, what I like to do with the ice cube trays is soak them in some soapy water and then run them through the dishwasher a couple loads, and it'll take off the odor, okay? So go ahead and make this garlic puree. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks, everybody. See you on the next one.